Smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up and like it, and put your comments down below. This is FarmBoys podcast with Danny Seliger, take 7.
I had a page called Coolness on Instagram. My page is still there. 1.7 million followers. I've been growing it since I was 12 years old. It's funny, I've made more money in a month off of this smaller account that has had less than $500 or less than 500 followers on it than I did with an account with millions on it. And I made a real miscalculation with my strategy beforehand. My strategy was like, one of my own clients made $45,000 in a month and a half.
Everybody associates followers with money. I get followers, I monetize. YouTube, I get so many views, I monetize. Subscribers.
To get a post with 19 likes on it, most people think that's bad. But the big misperception on social media right now is that followers equal dollars. And I landed my first high ticket client off of this new Instagram page when I had 9 followers.
Would you be comfortable sharing the most money you made in a month with this Coolness at 1.7 million?
Because we have clients that have significantly less followers than I have that are printing off of social media.
What age were you when you started making 6 figures a month?
What was the connection with that?
It was my boy from college. We played volleyball together.
Where at?
We played at Long Island University.
If he's not LDS, a lot of people wouldn't know that. He reminds me of a Utah Mormon just like you.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts here. And I think that the biggest thing and the nugget that I can give to anybody that's listening to this.
He's inexplicably nice.
Chris, I'm not a Utah Mormon.
You're an Idaho Mormon, okay, but a Mormon, how that? But no, Danny's so nice.
I got swindled out of all of my money as part of like a con artist scheme. And we had a lot of issues like operationally, like within the first 9 months of dropping out of college, all this stuff was happening. And I'm seeing their revenue and I'm seeing the amount of engagements they're getting. My account's way bigger and I'm not pulling in anywhere near the numbers. Yeah, dude. So the whole volleyball thing, I mean, that was a blessing. Like I was not planning on playing in college or going D1 or getting a scholarship or anything like that. I actually wasn't planning on going to college at all. So I'd gotten into entrepreneurship before I went to college. So
Danny, do I dare ask him if he's LDS?
Danny, where did you grow up?
Upstate New York.
Okay.
Would you believe me if I told you I was at an LDS wedding 2 days ago?
Yeah, of course I would.
No, I would. Yeah, they're everywhere, Danny. You can't get rid of them. I mean, look what I got here. What are you focused on? What are you doing? You recently made a big switch from your Coolness handle on Instagram, which is I commend you for, because I think awesome. You're betting on yourself, not the handle, and you put your own name on there. But you have TikTok, you have Instagram. Been watching some of your content, so tell us more about it. What are you looking at doing?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts here, and I think that the biggest thing and the nugget that I can give to anybody that's listening to this is that to succeed, you got to burn the boats. And it was the same kind of thing with college. I was able to build a successful agency pretty quickly after going through a bunch of ups and downs. Like, dude, we went through a lot of when it came to the agency. Like we got our payment processors froze all of our money for a point in time. I got swindled out of all of my money as part of like a con artist scheme. And we had a lot of issues like operationally, like within the first 9 months of dropping out of college, all this stuff was happening. And I think that if I had another option, I would have taken it. But I didn't give myself any choice. So it was kind of like, you got to get through this. Otherwise, you just throw your hands up and like declare bankruptcy. But then you get through it. And you learn so much along the way, because I think that could teach you a lot more than a degree could. Like going out there and just getting punched in the mouth repeatedly in the business world. And like, if you can like overcome that and get through it, I think that played a lot of a big role in the small success that I've had so far. And the Instagram thing is a similar story. So to give a little bit of context, I had a page called Coolness on Instagram. My page is still there. 1.7 million followers. I've been growing it since I was 12 years old. And the main objective with that page was to grow it as big as I possibly could. Like test all these things out, like get big account by any means necessary. And it was like, you spend a lot of money on advertisements, you pay for shout outs, you do like viral attempts, you learn how to go viral, you get a lot of videos performing really, really well. And then it's like, okay, what's the end game here? Like, do I want to be just like social media influencer? Like there's more people in this world right now that know me as Coolness than they do as like my actual name. Like I've been mentioned on podcasts before, and there's a clip, I can pull it up if I end up making this into a video afterwards, where the dude goes, yeah, like the one guy really inspired me. I don't know his name, but like Coolness. And I watched that and I was like, man, like, is this really the end game? Because there's no like real objective to this. I just have a big account. And then I went to try and go like push my services a little bit. Like I went on like my stories and was like reaching out to some people, and it didn't have that feel that some of these guys, because we have clients that have significantly less followers than I have, that are printing off of social media, and I'm seeing their revenue and I'm seeing the amount of engagements they're getting. My account's way bigger and I'm not pulling in anywhere near the numbers. I'm doing competitor research. I'm talking to competitors. They have way lower pages than me and they're getting significantly higher revenue numbers. I'm like, okay, there's a serious disconnect here. And it's because I'd grown the page by any means necessary. And now it's a matter of like, what's actually the end game? So I switch over to this new page, Danny.Seliger, and I make the move public because I'd rather have a page where people follow me for the social media advice and for the marketing tips, rather than just like, oh yeah, coolness, big following. It's so funny how many people, they'll follow the big page. Like you can get big people to follow you with a big page when they don't know who you are, way easier than you can if you have a smaller page where you're actually giving value. So there's a certain bit of there's a certain dynamic that has to happen that you got to get over. And to me, I'd rather just give insanely valuable content, which I hope like the people watching it can see like the value that's in there, and then just generate way more clients off it. I mean, I landed my first high ticket client off of this new Instagram page when I had 9 followers. 9 followers,
Wow.
like cold off of the page. And now we have like 520 and I've been cooking. And I'm like, wow, this is like way easier when I can just freely talk about social media, and everyone that's following me off of this page knows that I do social media, and it's very easy for people to find out what I do. It's very easy for people to get in touch with me. It's very easy for people to get in touch with my team. And it's funny, I've made more money in a month off of this smaller account that has had less than $500 or less than 500 followers on it than I did with an account with millions on it. So I think I respect people that are willing to admit when they're wrong. And I made a real miscalculation with my strategy beforehand. My strategy was like, get as many followers as humanly possible and then monetize. It's like you get the followers, you do any way humanly possible, and then you monetize it. It's like, where's the monetize part? What did all these people follow me for random different things? So, and then I'd listen to some mentors that I talked to. They're like, dude, it's niche audience, bro. There's guys out there that have 1,000 followers that are making ridiculous amounts of money. I mean, one of my own clients, this is when I still operated off of the 1 million follower account. One of my own clients made $45,000 in a month and a half on a page where he had 149 followers on it with his high ticket offer.
Hey, how do people do this?
He's making $45,000 per month.
How? What? Okay, so everybody associates followers with money. I get followers, I monetize. YouTube, I get so many views, I monetize. Subscribers. You got to explain. I don't know if you can or want to. How does this happen? How do you get 1.7 million? You're not making any. You're probably making some, but then you have 500. You're making more than you ever made. How's that possible?
Yeah, I'll clear it up a little bit. I wasn't making zero off the coolness page. Like I was
right.
So there was enough reason for me to logically drop out of college and run up a fresh business with that page. I did very well for myself off of that page, but I knew there was more out there, and I knew that wasn't what I wanted to be known for. So I go onto this new page, and I'm like, I'm testing out this new stuff because I think that this is also a great way for me to both showcase and test my skills. How good am I actually at the stuff that I talk about? So if I go back from zero, how quickly can I run up a business to $100,000 per month? Can I? Can I do it quickly? Can I document the whole thing, which is something that I'm doing as well? So for me, I just really wanted to test my skills and also just like get out there and show everybody what's possible. Like you'll see on this new page that's coming out, like I'll be posting pay stubs. Like I'm ready to show people like, hey, this is what you can do off of an account with low followers. But to me, it's just way more intention in the stuff that I'm posting. So now I know everybody follows me on this new account for social media tips. So when people are following me for social media tips, I can now reach out to the 19 people that are liking my post. You get a post with 19 likes on it. Most people think that's bad. But if you have a niche account, that's 19 people that are interested in the stuff that you have. So you reach out to them, you have a conversation with them, you figure out what they're looking for. Why'd you follow? Why'd you like this post in particular? Have a conversation with those people. Oh, because I'm struggling with this inside my business. Oh, you're struggling with that one little thing inside your business that I can help out with. I didn't make too much content about it. I'll make a video about it later explaining it. But like, did you know this is actually the exact kind of stuff that we do when we get on a call, deal closed. But the big misperception on social media right now is that followers equal dollars. Give me 19 likes on a post. Give me 19 likes on a post. I'll reach out to
Are you getting paid for consultation? Because I've always wondered, and I think a lot of people out there, and hopefully everybody who's watching this will wonder, how do people make money on social media? It's usually, to my mind, followers doing brand deals. Okay, I'm going to do this in a video. You're talking about people who want your services. So Is social media your way of making money consulting people?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's not necessarily like huge consulting. I say yes, absolutely, from the sense that it's not like the brand deals and the sponsorship side of it. It's the
Okay.
pure like service delivery and selling services. When I say I got a deal off of 9 followers, wasn't nobody paying me to post a video about their product on a page
Right.
with followers on it. No one's paying my client with 149 followers to like do a brand collaboration. But if my content is all about helping people grow on social media, and I'm giving the value away for free, I'm saying, hey, here's how you grow on social media. Here's how you monetize your page. Here's how you create a lead magnet. Here's how you do a marketing campaign. And then it's like, okay, you have people that see that and they're like, awesome, Danny, this stuff is great. I don't have the time, energy, or know how to actually implement this. Can you do it for me? Yes, I can. Here's how it goes. So to me, it's really just about having an offer that's like social media-ified. So it's like I can reach
Mm.
out to people, let them know, like, hey, by the way, I exist, and just watch some of my content. My content's very tailored around one niche. If you could scroll through my entire new page that I have right now, it's all about marketing, it's all about social media. So the people that follow me and stay engaging with my stuff, they're interested in marketing and social media. If I post a viral TikTok trend where if there's like a girl that's dancing and it gets 1 million likes, she may not be able to sell high ticket consulting services to any of those people. But if I have 19 likes on a post or I talk about lead magnets and opt-in pages and I get 19 people liking my post about lead magnets and opt-in pages, who do you think they're going to want to build their lead magnet and opt-in page? And then you get one high ticket deal for 10K. Now you have a 10K a month account, 50 followers.
Wow. I think you made the right decision quitting college. So, so I don't know if you're comfortable saying this. What was would you be comfortable sharing the most money you made in a month with this coolness at 1.7 million?
The coolness had brought in over $100,000 a month at a time. And my goal is to bring this new page to that number as quickly as possible. And honestly, like I just couldn't stand being coolness anymore. Like I'd go to events and I'd network with people, and it used to be what I thought was really cool. Where like I'd meet somebody, I'd shake their hand, they'd see my page, and then their dynamic completely changes. I'm no longer the Danny that they just met. I'm this social media guy with 1 million followers on it. And people treat you
Hmm.
completely differently, completely differently. And I almost like didn't like it. I almost felt like misaligned because people weren't following me for the stuff that I was actually putting out. They're following me for different trends or like shout outs that I paid for or like different things that I posted over the course of 10 years. And I know deep down that my page isn't as monetizable as these other people who have 100,000 followers. So I'm
Wow.
not trying to get back up to 1 million followers. I'm trying to get my business to 10x what it was before with a lower following count because I like talking about marketing. I like talking about the stuff that I want to talk about. So I'm going to just continue talking about marketing. And the people that want to listen to it, they'll know that I have a real passion about it. And it's this thing that I actually want to talk about. So they'll be more likely to engage with my stuff or buy my services. If you have a high ticket business on social media, you need 2 deals a month to make top 1% American salary. That's just it. If you have a high ticket consulting service at 10K per month, you close 2 deals, you make $20,000 per month. It costs you a couple $100 to service it. Top 1% American salary. If you can get 2 people. So what happens if you message 500 people in your target audience every single day with a message saying that you exist? You ask them to follow you. They all follow you, or some of them follow you. They watch your content, and you get 2 of those people. 500 messages every single day. That's 3,500 per week times 4. That's 14,000 every single month. You're telling me you couldn't get 2 of those people to buy? You get 2 of those people to buy, you make $20,000. But
How
everyone
big
wants to look at the followers. Everyone wants to look at the followers. Look at this new page. And you know how much text I got from people? So, oh, Danny, you're stupid, man. Why would you give that up? They don't know the numbers behind it. And anybody that's afraid to talk numbers, I think that there's so many phonies out there in this world. I've met a lot of people. I dedicated my entire 2024 to traveling around the world, meeting people, shaking hands, learning a lot of things. And if there's one thing I learned, it's a lot of people aren't who they say they are. And I almost felt like that when I had this page. I felt like I was like, okay, I'm saying I'm this guy that could really help with social media, but am I really doing it to the maximum ability for myself? Let's make a bet
well,
on that. And let's burn the boats. Let's let everybody know that I did this. Because I could have done it on the side. I could have done this page on the side of coolness and not burn the boats. But I
Yeah.
decided to burn the boats, let everybody know. And now it's like, okay, go succeed or look like a complete dumbass. And I think there's no good or bad choices. Only the actions that follow the choices make it a good or bad choice. You could drop out of college and that could be the worst decision you make. You could drop out of college, that could be the best decision you make. You could give up your Instagram account, that could be the worst decision you make. You could give up your Instagram account, that could be the best decision you make. It's not a matter of the choice. It's like what actions follow the choice. So now I'm on a mission. I'm going to show people. I'm documenting this entire thing. I'm building out an entire program right now. And it's unlike any other program because alongside the modules that I'm talking about is me doing the thing in live time, building my page the same exact way I'm telling other people to build my page. So you finish watching all of the program, and then it's like, here's how I did it literally today as I'm recording this. This is me. I'm doing all the stuff. So many of these agency guys, dude, I bought every agency course under the sun. People say, oh, you drop out of college, you lose out to education. Oh, you're not paying for the degree. I've spent well over that $250,000 on lessons, courses, mentors, consulting. Like, I've got myself educated. I put the money up to get educated. And a lot of these courses suck. They're just so bad because the people don't actually do the stuff. They just were like, oh, I'm gonna make a course about it. Let me chat GPT some stuff, post about how cool I am, post my Lambo, post my Ferrari that I rented, get people to buy my course. That's just all about theory that no one's ever done anything. So I was like, I'm gonna make one and literally document it alongside of it. And it's gonna, like, once I finish it, it's literally gonna be free. Like, I'm playing the game, trying to play like chess, bro. That's
Awesome.
that's a little bit of an insight as to what I've been working on, dude. I've been locked away for a little while, like really.
That's awesome.
A lot of stuff happening.
How long you been working on it?
This course?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been thinking about it for the last like 6 months. I didn't know how I wanted to go about it. I've been constantly like taking notes, figuring out like, hey, what am I going to do? What are the different sections going to be? And I had a bunch of like compiled notes in my iPhone list. And last week I ended up going through while I was on a plane and pretty much put it all together. And now it's a matter of like refining it, filming it, and documenting it alongside of it. It kind of like clicked pretty recently when I was on a plane last week.
How many people do you have working with you on your team behind the scenes?
Right now I have a team of 23. There's one project manager, a few social media managers, and a lot of editors.
And did you do that? Did you
We
hire
leaned out a lot, dude. We had a way bigger team earlier. Like, I realized I was paying way too much for team and had way too much team. And I was like, hold on, we could run this like way leaner. We could communicate better as a company, and I could save a lot more money if we leaned out the team a little bit more and like just had it really be like a tight knit culture of everybody that was just us on the team. So right now we're at 23.
Did you build it out like from scratch, or did you hire an agency? Is it an agency that you use?
Completely built from scratch. I haven't hired any. I mean, if you count, I don't know. This will show how much I know. I don't know shit, but if you consider LinkedIn as like an agency or like different job, like Facebook posts and stuff like that. I mean, like I post on LinkedIn, post on Facebook, post on Indeed, and got some people. But a lot of people came to me with the coolness page, and especially the editors. That'd be, oh, can I edit your videos for you? Can I edit your videos for you? Oh, I got an agency you can edit for. I got clients you can edit for. And the best people, they'd come that way. But the social media managers, project managers, those are people I've known for a while. And I was like, hey, I got opportunity.
That's awesome.
So last time I talked to you, which was a while ago, you were building a house in Spain, right?
Yeah.
Did that house get built? Are you living there? Is it 23 other people living with you there?
I'm in New York right now, and last time we talked, I was building a house in Spain with some other people, and I don't know how much I can go into detail about this, but what I said earlier about getting involved with some bad people was true. And there's some intertwinedness of the two of those things, and I want some things to blow over before I talk about it. But once the dust settles, man, I'll be ready to talk about it. That's for sure. But short answer is no. I live in New York right now. I've been completely locked in. I've been locked away in my childhood bedroom for the last 2 months, just building something special, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
What age were you when you started making 6 figures a month? How recent was this, or how long ago was this?
That was pretty recent. I was 21.
Okay. There's not many 21-year-olds that are bringing in 6 figures a month.
Okay, just so I can clarify, that's top line. Like that's how much money we're bringing in. I don't want to.
You're doing more than some businesses, Danny. There are businesses out there that have been in business for 20 years and they're not. However much it is that you're doing a year. How does a 21-year-old handle that kind of money? What kind of support do you need? I mean, you're obviously very capable, intelligent. Your freaking passion is just magnetic. Your smile. I mean, you could sell, popsicle to a freaking woman in a white fur coat, for hell's sakes. I mean, but how do you manage all that as a 21-year-old?
How do I manage run the business or? Well,
no, bringing in that kind of money obviously it hasn't gone to your head, which it would millions of people. Like, I mean, you're so down to earth. you're excited like you're starting something new, a business from scratch, which in essence you are. But hell, you just came from a multi-million-dollar business and you're only 21 years old. Like, did I can't imagine you grew up in a family that made $100,000 a month.
No, but I do have the best family ever. They're so supportive of me. Like that's the reason why I'm able to go take like big ballsy risks, is because like you say, like, oh, you're down to earth. How do you manage the money? The question, the thing is, like, nobody should take financial advice from me. Like I just turned 22 recently, and I've lost all of my money, which is like a lot of money, twice. I lost it all at 19 in a Ponzi scheme, and I lost it all at 21 with some bad business dealing. So I would not take financial advice from me, but we do touch that kind of money, and I think that that's a result of like building a good team and having a really good service. Because when your churn rate's really low and you provide a good service, not only do you not lose customers, but the customers that you have also bring you more customers. So my whole thing was like, how can I double down on the value that I'm bringing to the clients, so that just like everybody that interacts with me is just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, how have I not discovered this person earlier? Like, he's giving so much value, whether it's free in the content, whether it's paid and they're an agency client. But I just want everybody that I come into interaction with to be like, bro, you gotta talk to this guy. Oh, you need content, you gotta talk to this guy. And that's how it went, dude. We had our first $250,000 in revenue just off of referrals. Like zero outbound marketing, zero marketing on my Instagram. The way that we started the company was like, okay, I have this idea. Let's test the idea out. How we test the idea is we get ideal clients, so we give them the service for free and say, hey, dude, I just need you to let me know how this is. Like, if it fucking sucks, like, tell me, because you're doing me a big disservice by telling me it's good if it's actually bad. So tell me it's bad. If you think it's really good, can you give me a review so I can give a case study about it? And if you think it's really good, can you refer some friends? And the first couple people I did work for free for referred some of my best clients that have been with me since day one. Those clients referred more clients, but at a certain point, like, the results speak for themselves. We got to a point where we were like, our first 50,000 month that we had, it was just a mess, because I thought that it was like, oh yeah, just bring in the money and not worry about the operations. And the operations went down, service sucked, clients canceled, and it was just bad. So honestly, you're saying like, oh, how do you manage all this stuff? Like, truth is, I don't know. I'm figuring out as we go. I've just always been like, let's just dive head first in and just figure it out like as we go. And now like I have a good outlook. I feel like I could come back and eat this, but I feel like I have a good outlook as to like where things are going. It's like that. There's a chart that goes, when you find out something new, it's uninformed optimism. So like you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, this will be easy. And then you get to informed pessimism, where you're like, oh, wait a second, this is actually really hard. And then most people go into what's called the valley of despair, and then just start over with the next new thing they have uninformed optimism for. You get through the valley of despair, you get through all the shit that you go through, then you have informed optimism. So it's like, okay, I know about all the hard stuff that's supposed to happen as a result of this, and I still now think that I can get through it. And I think that that's about where I'm at right now. I was like, okay, I've made my real fair share of mistakes this year, like big errors, and you just, in my opinion, you just have to do it. Like I've took the mindset of like, hey, this is the story I'll one day tell, and it's just tuition to the game. Like, I dropped out of college, I got to pay my tuition to the game. You lose hundreds of thousands of dollars to a bad business partner. It's like, yep, there's my business degree right there. Like, I just got my degree.
You answered the question perfectly. That's you answered it, and I didn't even ask it. You've had your highs, you've had your lows, you've made mistakes that have course corrected where you're going. So you're learning what not to do, probably better than anyone else, if you're talking about making all this money and literally losing it based off a decision. And yeah, you're just going to be stronger, and you're already after it again. Okay, we lost that. I'm going back out here now. I figured out I need 19 followers or 19 likes, and I can make just as much or more. It sounds like you've course corrected, and
that's
you've got that
19 followers thing is so true.
It's what? Say that again.
So I think it was cutting out. I thought you were done with your sentence. I didn't mean to cut you off.
But
I was saying, well, the whole 19 likes and 9 followers thing, like, that's completely true. The thing where people just get a bad for, to me, sales is all about conviction. Like, when I talk to somebody, do they know deep down that I like mean what I say, or there's another sales guy reading off a script? And to me, the hardest part was like going to the drawing board and figuring out what was actually of value to the market. Like, anybody can put together agency services where they run Facebook ads or create your content, or do, like, anybody can start an agency. The barrier to entry is so low. But the reason why people work with us, and the reason why we close at such a higher rate than everyone else, is because, like, I like to think that you talk to me, it's like, I believe the stuff that I'm saying, and I'm a tough sell. Like, I had to sell myself. Would I work with myself? And when the answer to that was yes, then the sales started flooding in. Because before it's like, okay, I could sell other people, I could read off a script, I could do the sales strategies and objection handle and all of this stuff, but people weren't closing at the rate I wanted them to because I didn't believe myself. Like, would I buy my own thing? And I got to a point where the answer was yes to that, and then sales started flooding in after that. So I think a lot of people, like, since the barrier entry is so low, you just have so many just soy boy just losers, like in the DMs, like, oh, I won't buy my service, but they're like they know they don't do shit. And when you work so hard on creating an offer that's actually valuable, and then you finally get a chance to like get in front of people and talk about it, it's so easy. But I spent, oh my God, so much time, dude. There was months where I did nothing but just figure out the offer. Like if I could show you like the environment that I'm in right now, I think I posted a story about it today. There's like 4 just huge poster boards, all my ideas on them. There's one like on the table right here. It's my notebook here, big whiteboard there. Like I'm constantly refining this thing. So I was like, it's gonna be very hard to compete. Like I'd love a competitor that's just like here that I can just be like, now let's go at it. That was the one thing I took away from sports. Volleyball is very easy to just be like, oh yeah, this guy's on the other side of the net. He's wearing a different color jersey. Fuck this guy. Business is a little bit different. It's like, okay, well, you got to be cordial with people, move with grace. Like you don't want to burn bridges. I can't just look at someone and be like, I am going to crush you. When like that's kind of like what you want to do. So I've been trying to find like competitors and enemies and like getting right in front of them, because that's kind of stuff that pushes you, man. Like the cat's more powerful than the cheese, in my opinion.
There's a lot of truth to that for sure. So one of the things that started a little while ago, and it's kind of cheesy, I get it, but we call it the lightning round. So if you're up for it, I want to ask you around 10 questions, and it's just quick answers, one-word answers, and then, we might come up with something that we can build off of and talk with. But it's been pretty successful this far. So are you up for it, Danny, to do the FarmBoys podcast lightning round?
I'm up for anything, man.
All right. So first question, I'm just going to rattle them off. There's no right or wrong answer, obviously. So what's the first thing you do every morning?
Go for a walk.
Okay. One word that captures your secret to success.
Drive.
Who taught you the most about resilience?
My mom.
Biggest mindset shift that changed everything.
Nobody's who they say they are.
Are you driven more by passion or by discipline?
Both.
Okay. What's the one tool you could not work without?
My phone.
Most underrated skill for success?
Showing up every day.
Do you see failure as a setback or a setup?
Set up, dude. Failure's the best.
What's your personal mantra?
Do it anyway.
And
I made that up on the fly, by the way. I don't have an actual mantra.
that's okay. Hey, one lesson you wish everyone knew.
You have so much opportunity in front of you. Like if you just show up every day, grow your competence, and really try, in this day and age, you could beat anybody.
Nice. All right. Well, that's it. I thought you did a stellar job. I think we need to dive in more, Logan, with the whole, and you don't have to get specific, but the trusting anyone. I'm assuming that came from your former business partner. You got burnt, but rather than focusing on that, your Instagram page shows that you've met quite a few prominent people. Patrick Bet-David, that's pretty cool. You guys, Justin Waller, folks like that. When hopefully when people watch this and they're asking questions and figuring out, okay, yeah, I know who this guy is, and what does it take to be able to meet people like that? Are you let down when you meet people like that? Are you pleasantly surprised? Obviously, it's different for everybody, but I guess talk about some of those interactions and meetings when you're a kid from Syracuse, upper New York, you're playing volleyball. These guys probably don't know a jack about volleyball, but now you're in this business. But what's that like?
Yeah, I think that there's a couple different routes that we can take to dissect that answer. Of course, it's the lightning round. If I had a little more time to process, I think I would have worded it a little bit differently.
Sure.
But what I mean by the no one is who they say they are thing is that you should have a wall to some extent. I used to operate off the belief system that like respect is earned, but trust is given. And I realized quickly that that's not true. Like it does, like we can be friends. I don't have to give you my credit card information right now. Even if and believe it or not, people ask for it, and you're like, oh, we're boys. Yeah, sure, yeah, here, whatever, anything. anything for my homies. And now it's like, okay, you can't trust people. So that was what I mean by that.
Okay.
It's have the wall of trust. Trust is not given; it's also earned. Same thing with the respect. And in terms of like the people that you meet, I have been
Yeah.
to meet some pretty cool people, and like not only you snap a picture with them, but sit down and have a conversation with them. And all of the guys I met have been awesome. Like the guys that you named, they're great dudes. I hope to meet them again soon, and I look up to all of them. But there's something different when you meet one of those like idols, like those heroes, and there's an air of just like, okay, this is a human. Like this is another person that also like grew up, had a life, had setbacks, and it makes it way more real. The people on social media, it's very easy to like look like just a titan that is invincible and no one can like they feel no pain. And when you see them in person and you talk to them, and it's not as clean as it is on social media, like you hear the stumbles in between the words they got cut out on the video. It's like, wait a second, this guy is human. And I think that it's important to know that. It's important to get out and meet those kinds of people because it's inspiring. Where it's like no one's invincible. Like I now know from meeting these guys, and not to say I'm not blown away by these guys. I'll meet them and I'll be there starstruck. I'll be the guy to ask for the picture. I'll take the hey man, can we take a picture? I really look up to you. But it's knowing that they're real and knowing that like, okay, I can be there. I can do that. I am on the right track. I wake up and put in the work every single day. It's like Kobe talked about. He's like, okay, if I'm not better than somebody, I'll go to practice 3 times per day, 4 a.m., noon, and evening practice. 3 times a day, 3 times a day, 3 times a day. No one else is going 3 times a day. At some point, if I'm just doing more than everybody else, I will be better than everybody else. At some point, if I'm doing more high leverage things, I will be the best. And then when people realize, once you pass someone, it's like, oh, wait, how did he just pass me? Oh, he's practicing 3 times per day. I better start practicing 3 times per day. Now you can't catch that person because they're still practicing 3 times per day. So to me, it was like, okay, I know I can get here. I have to put my effort towards high leverage things. Like that's why I'm so big on like writing all my stuff down and getting all my thoughts out on paper because there's people that work way harder than me. Construction workers work way harder than me. Like people that work regular jobs, they work significantly harder than me. But I'm trying to work on higher leverage things. So how can I look at the chessboard and say, okay, what do I have available for me as resources, as opportunities, as constraints inside of the business that I can like solve? And then which one's going to be the highest priority? Which one's going to move the needle the most that I should work on? And then working on those and working like a maniac on things that have high leverage. I think that's how I was able to make some big strides. People say I'm young and new to the game, but I've been doing stuff for a little while, and it's just constant getting better and not like taking feedback from people. I listen to all my hate comments that I get from people. The ones that stay, I get hate comments. Someone said, "What?" Someone told me like, "What the fuck did you just say in that video?" And I looked at that comment and I was like, "Man, I could have delivered that point better. Like I could have said that in a way that would have made sense to more people. Thank you for that feedback." Or if someone says like, "Oh, you're fat. Your business isn't that big. Your business isn't actually that big." Didn't feel offense to it because it actually is. But when it's like, "What did you just say?" I didn't understand what you were saying. I was like, okay, that is a real thing. That is a constraint. If I would have explained it better, Jim John 129 would have understood my point and maybe he would have been a follower. So I can go back to the drawing board and be like, how can I explain this point better? And I think a lot of people they get so angry at all of the hate. They get hate from people. It's like, dude, you listen to that, man. Those are some good feedback. Because it's what your friends aren't willing to tell you.
Logan, do you have any questions? I've been asking a lot here.
Tell us a little bit about your growing up, like family dynamic. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I got a younger brother. And I mean, family was always strong. I think that's the biggest thing. People ask me all the time, like, dude, how do you got balls, man? I hear that statement a lot. And the only reason why I do is because I know that I could like mess up really, really bad and just end up back at home and be like, hey guys, like I messed up. Like I'll get it next time. And knowing that like I have that and I can go make these like egregious risks and take them and fail. Cause I have failed and ended up back at home and like made it back from zero multiple times. And just knowing that you have that family that's really supportive and that you want to go home to for Christmas, as opposed to like, I think a lot of entrepreneurs view themselves as like the black sheep inside of the family and they don't want to go home for Christmas. They want, oh, family's kind of giving me weird vibes. Oh, they're going to talk shit about what I do. My family's been super supportive. And I think that's like the ace up my sleeve that I have where I can just, they always believe in what I'm doing and genuinely and not just like looking me in the face. Oh, sure. I think you'll do it. Like they're like, oh, man, you'll get them next time. And like, I know they mean it when it comes to that. So the family's just been huge. And I hope one day to be able to provide the same kind of experience with kids of my own.
Are your parents also from upstate New York, or are they from other?
My mom's from New York. My dad's from Mass.
Okay. Nice. So I was kind of curious with some of the monetization. I mean, is it basically you're putting together different levels, different packages for people to purchase from you based on like, I'm sure it could either be like individual focused if someone's trying to just grow their own influence on social media, or maybe it's a corporation that's trying to grow their influence on social media. Are you working with kind of with everybody? And then, yeah, are there packages that you offer for people? How does that work on the monetization side?
Yeah, dude. So for me, yeah, I've always believed that like if I'm gonna work intimately with someone and we're gonna do a lot of the work for them, like it should be as much custom to them as possible. So for me, it's always like a gauge of who's interested. Like when I'm reaching out to people, sending these messages or seeing like who's in my inbox with some of the content or seeing the type of pages that are in my likes, I'm just sending them tailored value to their page like right away. Like, hey, this is what I would do if I was running your page. I would fix up these things. And then you kind of heat check them after that, where it's like, okay, is this person actually interested in this kind of stuff? Are they asking me tailored questions? Are they asking how they can implement it? Yo, man, let's just jump on a call and see what this looks like. Now it's a matter of like, okay, you need this, 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 and this. It's not like a package or a sales process or something like that. It's just like, hey, dude, like based off what I saw, like I would do this, this, this. If you want us to do it, awesome. If not, I mean, here's how to do it. You can do it yourself. But it's always like the higher ticket stuff's always been custom. That's one of the reasons why I'm putting out this course too, is because I want to be able to work with more people on a lower level as well. So people can just go through and like learn all of the stuff that I learned and put together into this one thing. But in terms of like packages and stuff, it's always been completely custom. Like it's never like a sales call or stuff like that. It's just like, hey, like, is this person even a fit to work with us? Like, are we going to be able to help? If yes, what do they need? How much effort is that going to take from me personally? And how much is it going to cost? Those are the two variables. And like how much I charge for stuff. It's like, how much am I going to have to personally put into this? And how much is it literally going to cost me? And if both the things are high, like it's going to cost a bunch. But if it's like not going to cost me a bunch and my team can do most of it, then it's like, okay, yeah, sure, go run with it. But I do want to get more of like a menu style approach to the business because I think it's a lot more scalable that way. Because right now you can't really have other salespeople selling your stuff if it's like completely custom. So that is one of the constraints that we've seen too, is
What
scale in bigger months.
on your existing handle with or your existing page with Coolness, was there more revenue coming from services that you were providing or from people that just wanted like you to shout out their company or their product, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I can't speak on that personally because I never took any brand deals. There was people ripping me to shreds in my inbox for like wanting to do sponsorships and stuff like that. And for me, I always knew that like I was gonna go for the monetization at one point. And if I went to go monetize for my own kind of stuff after I just promoted a bunch of other stuff, then it's like, okay, he's just like a shiller. Like he doesn't actually like care about bringing value. So for those reasons, I always said no to like brand sponsorships and stuff like that. So I can't really speak on it. I would like made zero from that.
Okay. Um,
How did they contact you? Or even today, is everything through the DM on Instagram or TikTok or email? How's the best way to contact you?
Yeah, pretty much through DM on Instagram is where all the deals would come from because my information is not really out there like online that much. I mean, if you can find my email, props.
Wow. What do you think the biggest misconception, excuse me, what do you think the biggest misconception people have about becoming successful on social media? Is it what Logan and I have thought about? Hey, he's got 1,000,007 followers, man. He's getting brand deals. He's doing this, he's doing that. You've kind of touched on it, but is that the biggest misconception, you think?
I think success and social media are two funny words when you put them in the same sentence because you have four friends. One of them just got married. One of them started a new business. The other one's flying private. And the other one's going on vacations. And as a result, you think that you need to be going on a vacation, flying a private jet, starting a business, and getting married at the same time. It's like that social media like really fucks up our perception of success, because all these people are showing off all of their highlight reels, and we subconsciously think that we need to be completing all of their other highlight reels in our day-to-day lives. So I got social media off my phone. Like, I literally do. I have a second phone that has my social media on it, and I'm barely on it throughout the day. Like, I'm there posting content. I'm like rarely answering messages that are on there. I have a team that's in there that answers my messages. I'll post a video from time to time, or I'll go like once or twice per week and schedule out some posts. But like, social media, and it's funny saying it for me, and I'll be the first to say it, dude, it's fucking poison. Like, I hate it so much. Like, I'm not a consumer. I used to be a big consumer, and my business was struggling when I was consuming social media religiously, until it was actually Andy Elliott that told me, like, dude, don't be the crack head, be the crack dealer. Like, it's deal the crack.
Dude,
Not,
that's
like,
that's crazy to hear that from you.
yeah, that's it.
Well, it's not crazy. Like, I don't consume a lot of social media, Danny, just because, like, I'm busy, busy with my job. I work for a real estate investment firm, talking to a lot of people. And then I'm also busy with my own family. I have kids, they're all involved in different sports. And so it's work, it's family. And, once in a while, I'll jump into social media for a little bit of entertainment, but social media is tricky, right? Because it's a black hole, and they're experts at grabbing your attention and keeping it. And just recently, I read a book called The Anxious Generation, and it talks about depression, anxiety, and the uptick in both of those since the introduction of the smartphone and social media. And so, like, when I was a kid, some of the things that were taught to me, I grew up in small town Idaho, Danny. But there was the DARE program, for like say no to drugs.
Dare against drugs.
Also, what's that?
Dare against drugs. Yeah, we had that too.
Yeah. And then there was also, like, you learned, hey, this is kind of like healthy eating habits. You learn other things. Like, in the modern world, I think kids need to know, like, hey, you need to, I told my kids this. I said, make sure that you're controlling your like social media, your phone, that kind of thing. Make sure you're controlling that, and it's not controlling you, because so much time is wasted. I mean, it could be a great source of information too. It just, it's kind of the double-edged sword type thing. So it's interesting that you say that. I think that's good advice for anybody, right? It's really about, like, focusing on what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish, and don't get distracted.
What do you think the one piece of advice is out there while you were in the thick of things, kind of learning it, maybe not knowing where you are today? What do you think the biggest piece of advice is for social media marketing that you just absolutely totally disagree with now? You're like, no, like, I heard this all the way through. I built it. I've lost it. I built it again. That ain't true. Is there such a thing?
Yeah, I think that there's way too much hype around going viral. Like, I know people that had more followers than me on Instagram that were literally dead broke. Like, they'd have millions of followers, broke, seriously broke, like making no money off their offers, making no money off their businesses, claiming a sponsorship deal from time to time to like support a lifestyle, and it just was terrible life. You don't want to live it. And then I know guys that have 100 followers that make multi 5 figures per month. Like, you do not need followers. And like, if there's anybody that can speak on it, it's me. Like don't go down that rabbit hole, because not only is it not worth the pot of gold that's supposedly at the end, you also have to detach from yourself at least a little bit to get to that point. Like, if you want to reach that many people, you have to cater to what the masses want. You have to script the videos that are going viral. You have to say the hook in a certain way. You have to present yourself a certain way to be accepted by the masses. So when you opt for the other way around, it looks bad at first. It's like, well, people aren't really going to like you, and you're not going to get as many followers. But the people that do like you love you. And it's like, the people that like you have this big following. It's like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't care about him if he died, kind of thing. But these guys, you got 500 people that really care about you. I'd rather have that all day. 500 people that'll follow me into a fire versus a million people that will turn around right away. I think that that's like, and people, oh, you gotta go viral. Oh, and I got another piece of advice for you as well too, is that it's not quantity over quality. It's not. Everyone says, oh, post 4 times a day, just post 4 times a day, you'll be good. That may have worked in 2020 when the short form content, like the algorithm started coming out, where it's like the scrolling. That would have worked then, but nowadays it just doesn't, because everyone and their brother's trying to have a personal brand. And I think that if you opt for the quantity, and this is a mistake I also made myself, this is like personal mistake that I'm sharing, is opting for quantity and just posting 3-4 times per day of just nonsense. Like, that doesn't matter. And then someone lands on your page and they're like, okay, what does this guy do? What is he talking about? It looks like he's really just posting just to post, and then you don't end up converting any people. Like, maybe one of them goes viral, but then again, it's like you confuse people when you're on your page and they don't even do really well. But if you go for quality, you can post once per month. I know guys, there's dudes like Devin Jatho on Instagram that post once per month that have 300,000 followers that crush it inside their business. Dude's 19, post once a month. But you can tell in each video, like, he spent hours scripting it out, and his team spent hours in the post-production, and he was thinking about that idea, and every single word was played out just the way he thought it out and just the way he wrote it out. There's no winging it whatsoever. So I think that there's a happy medium, and I like to just try and be the biggest example of the stuff that I talk about. There's one side of the spectrum that's just post 17 times per hour, you're bound to grow, and there's another one that's just like, make every video so meticulously good, like you will blow up. I like to try and find the happy medium, where I think you need the reps to some extent, where I think that I'm able to make content that performs, that's compelling, that sells, because I've posted tens of thousands of times other stuff. I don't think that anyone can just pick up the camera and start making really emotionally compelling content. I mean, I did put in thousands and thousands of reps beforehand to make it look easier. But I'd say the two biggest things are that you need followers in order to be successful, in order to make money, and that you should do quantity over quality. I think that both of those are just insanely untrue. And I believed both of those things at first, and I failed with both of those things at first. My take.
Well, you got a couple Idaho farm boys on here, and that's why we started this podcast. But Logan and I both grew up in different parts of Idaho, southern Idaho, grew up on a farm, and I think you would have been a hell of a farmer, or a farm kid anyway, because you've got that tenacity, you've got that fire. I mean, you would have been probably a lot. I mean, for even more so, like Logan and I used to talk all the time, is like, you're sitting on the tractor, you're doing whatever. We didn't have cell phones back then. We had nothing, man. You had your brain and your imagination, and you would think about the craziest shit that would pass through your mind as you're changing water, moving lines, just doing whatever on the farm. But you've got that farmer in you, Danny, like that. You are very strong-willed. You can tell that. Very passionate. So what's the end game? What's that? Oh yeah, self-starter. You got to be to go up, get up at 5:30. Yeah,
hard working.
Yep.
Yep. You can grind it out. Sometimes you just got to grind it out, get through it.
Yeah, you're not one of those Midwest farmers. Those guys, they plant, they go to sleep, they wake up, crops are done, man. We had to work over in Idaho, where we don't get rain. We had to create our own rain with irrigation. But having said all that, as you're talking, and I can feel your spirit, your passion, it's great. What is the end game for you? I mean, eventually, do you want to be somebody like Andy Elliott? Do you want to be a public speaker that you're changing the minds of people? You're changing the world. I mean, you want to
be a farmer?
Yeah, I want to be a farmer. You are, and could be even more, like such a big inspiration for kids who want to follow you and do exactly what you're doing. So what is your end game? Or maybe you don't know it yet.
I think you hit the nail on the head right there, man. Like I owe so much of my little bit of success that I've seen to random people on the internet that told me to do stuff. And you listen to those random people on the internet and you try out the stuff that they're doing, and some of it succeeds, some of it doesn't. You give some of them money, you don't give some of them money, you just try everything you can. And I literally, I think it's amazing. They're able to just go on the internet, look up a problem that you have, and there's some dude or some girl that's figured it out and made a video about it. So I want to just like learn all of the lessons, like fail super hard, like fall for the schemes, tank the business, lose all my money, and just be like, guys, don't do that kind of thing. And it's just, you do that so much, and you can do it in like talk in a nuanced way where like, yeah, you know, when people have actually done stuff and when they haven't. When someone just sits up there and, oh, boo, you're like, okay, you ChatGPT'd it and you read off bullet points that ChatGPT gave you. or did you actually live this stuff for years of your life, and your content is the manifestation of everything that you worked for? And for me, like, I wake up every single day, I get after it, I learn new things, I'm hungry for learning, and I just want to teach everybody else that too. So I think that the younger generation that's coming up right now, the guys that are 14 through 18, they're very malleable, and I can only imagine the kind of wars that's going on inside of their head as to who to listen to. When I was growing up, it was like Rocky was the savior. Like, he goes up, gets up one more time and beats the Russian guy and goes and trains in the snow and does all that stuff. Like, that was the people that I was looking up to. And then you look at what's on TV and what's being fed to the kids today. I don't know. I mean, I want to be a positive light with all the stuff that's going on, and teach the younger generation, or any generation for that matter, just the stuff that I've been able to accumulate through hard experiences.
Yeah. That's honestly why Logan and I started this podcast. Is we want to bring something positive out there where people could, take in a playbook or play from PBD's playbook, be insightful, valuable, entertaining, something so that we can contribute to maybe some positive content out on the internet or YouTube, or, wherever we've seen. So you've given us, about an hour of your time. I appreciate it. Is there anything that you want for your own content that we can do, or anything like that?
Well, I'm so sorry, dude. I didn't catch that. It just cut out a little bit.
Is there anything that we can do for you, for your content, for what you're recording, anything like that? I said thank you, appreciate it. I know we've been on an hour. I don't want to keep you the whole time, but this has been awesome.
Dude, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys having me on here too. I can stay for however long. I've always tried to live by the philosophy of, like, if my cup is so full, it just overflows, and I want to, by default, or just like giving to the people who are around you. But you work and fill your cup up every single day. But I'm all good, dude. I mean, I exist to do my thing and just try and get better every single day. But what you guys are doing is good stuff on here. I appreciate you guys for having me.
What are your handles, Danny?
Yeah.
I'm Danny Seliger everywhere. It's DANNY SELIGER. Instagram, there's a dot in between the two of them. That's like the main platform that I'm really growing right now. So if you're listening to this anytime after the recording, I've been live on this account for less than a week now. So we're going to see some serious growth over the next few months. Very excited.
You said you would meet people. They'd know you as, like, okay, you're a social media influencer, you're the coolness guy, right? But then they would treat you different. Danny was different than coolness. But so are you trying to bring it all together where it's like, no, like, okay, I have my following, they know me as Danny, they can connect with me, but is it more about them being able to connect with Danny, the real person, better than they can connect with coolness?
To me, that was just a perk. Like, I think that it is, at the end of the day, I want it to be connected to my name, because I think very big picture, and I play around with this a lot. Like, I'm a big thinker. Like, I'll constantly be sitting there in thought, just playing different situations out in my head. Like, how is this going to go? And one of the ones that just kept repeating in my head was getting announced on a big stage as coolness. And to me, it wasn't me. Like, is that who I really want to be aligned with? Like, do I want to get the influence that I want to have, and to have people know me as coolness? And to me, I think that my personality has also changed a little bit since I got that handle. I think that when I got coolness, I was a freshman in college. I was like, try to be like swaggy college student, and it was just, I felt like coolness. I was a little more like a little bigger of an ego, a little more cocky, and it played really well. And now I think that I've reverted a little bit more back to, like, I think I'm more nerd than cool as of right now. I love studying. I'll stay in. I gave up drinking. I gave up social media, and I'm doing all the right things. I just don't think it really aligns with coolness. But that wasn't the reason why I switched. I mean, the reason was why I wanted to do what I was telling people to do. And I was getting crazier results for my clients than I was for myself. I'm like, who am I to look myself in the mirror and not be doing the stuff that I'm saying to do? And let's go do it as good of a way as we can. And it was really, I mean, I could sit on here and tell the story about how I got on. I will. This is a story worth telling. This was the biggest catalyst I had in order to switch the two accounts. I do a lot of competitor research. I'm a student of the game. I want to know who all my competitors are, what they're offering, what their price points are, how many clients they have, how they get their clients. I want to know everything. And one of my competitors, I like the card that I never like to use, but is always there, is the fact that I'm 22. Like, I never pull that card. I'm never like, oh, but I'm younger. But that's like the one kind of thing that's like, okay, this guy's a little bit different. There's a girl 2 years younger than me. Blonde girl, has the same exact business as me. Not same exact, but like very similar. She was younger than me. And she had 1/6 of the followers that I had on Instagram. And I talked to her team about like, hey, well, what's your processes? How many clients do you have? What's it like if I become a client? I get on with her sales team. And the sales process was painstaking, bro. Like I go through the funnel, it's not very good. The copy's written like, I get on with the lady who's running sales and she's not a salesperson. Like I was ready to buy and I got almost like unsold on the call. Like I was almost like, I don't really want to do this anymore. But the whole sales pitch was like, we have 300 clients, 7% churn rate. Like every client brings new clients. I'm like, hold on. So your minimum package is $2,000 per month. You have a minimum contract of 3 months. You have 300 clients. I know how much it costs to run this business that you're running. You're telling me this girl is taking home $500K per month. And I'm doing this math in my head. I'm like, this girl's 2 years younger than me. We've been doing it for about the same amount of time. And she's taking home $500,000 per month off of just social media. She goes, we run no ads. We don't go outbound at all. It's all off organic social media. It's like, what? And I look through it and I'm looking at how she's doing it. Now I watch every single one of her posts. She has over 1,000 posts on Instagram. I watched every single one of them, studied all of them. And what she does is all social media content. So if she gets a video to go viral, it's all people who are interested in social media. And she'll have a CTA at the end that goes, hey, comment the word script and I'll send you my script framework. And then 1,000 people will comment the word script and they'll go through and reach out to all those people and sell 2 of them on $2,000 per month. It's $6,000 from an Instagram post right there. So I'm like, okay, we have this girl who's 2 years younger than me, very similar business. My product's literally better. And she uses only her platform that has 6 times less than mine has. Where did I go wrong? What happened? And that just sent me down this like spiral of like, I made an error in how I grew this thing. Because yes, I'm making money off my page. Like, yeah, but I want to be the best. And if there's somebody that's doing it, I mean, if she's making 3 times, or there was like, if you do that, about 5 times more than I was making at the time, making 5 times more than I'm making, younger than me, and has 6 times less the followers, that's 30 times better than she is than me at business. If you not even counting the years, her business is 30 times better than mine. If you do the math, 6 times the followers I have, or she has 6 times less the followers I have, and it was insane to me when I saw that. I was like,
I have one more question for you, Danny. Why'd you stop drinking?
I want to give myself as many advantages as possible. All of my biggest idols, they're like, man, I gave up drinking at 28. Like it's the biggest advantage. I gave it up at 28. And I never even really liked it. Like there was no good that comes from it. I think that there's literally 0 positive things that come from drinking. I think that if you are aligned with reality, then you're not going to have a problem with stopping drinking. I think that drinking kind of like sedates the actual issues that are going on in your life. And you kind of just like skirt around them.
Yeah.
And so when I stopped, I was forced to like, I didn't have big demons. Like I knew what the problems were, but I was forced to really face them. And about a month or 2 after I stopped drinking, I was like, man, I feel really good and like congruent. Like there's no skeleton in the closet that I'm worried about coming out. I already like have attacked and solved all of these problems. Plus it's, dude, I'm so much clearer. I have so much more clarity, energy, focus. I sleep better. Like, and I think that I'll probably live longer as a result of doing it. To me, it's just a big advantage. And all of the people I really look up to don't drink. And I think I solidified it last weekend that I'm completely done. Because I was at a wedding in Vegas, and it was an LDS wedding, but I had a lot of buddies from college pull up, and it was my first true test of are you not going to drink? And I didn't really feel the need to at all. So to answer in short, want to stack as many advantages as I can, and I think that's a big advantage.